increases.
What's the number one factor that determines whether a customer comes back and buys their next car from you?
First experience.
No. I would have thought service experience, no. Purchase experience, no. Follow-up, no.
Trade stock ability to trade.
The number one factor that determines whether a customer comes back and buys their next vehicle from you is the term of the loan. This was a study done by Ford Motor Credit about 10 years ago. If I lease it, because very few people are going to finance a car for 24 months, but if I leased a car for 24 months, I'm 87%. 87% of the time, I'm coming back to buy my next vehicle from you. 36 months, 67%. 48 months, I dropped to just under 50%. 60%, we're now in the 30s. Put me out at 84 months, you got a 1% chance of seeing me again.
Whoa.
Because what's going to happen is I'm going to come back and say I'm ready to trade, and you're going to do the math. You're going to say, well, Steve, we need $22,000 down. Because you're not close to being in an equity position. So would it make sense? I mean, look, it's good for the customer, but it's also good for us. You guys do much leasing?
I don't know. It does a lot of leasing.
Say again?
The whole area does a lot of leasing.
Atlanta sucks as a lease market. And people drive too much. Okay, first of all, the more miles you drive, the better lease candidate you are. Because when you build the miles in up front, people think there's a mileage charge. There's no mileage charge. It's just a lower residual. Yeah, so the more miles someone drives, the better lease candidate they are if they understand it. The problem is most consumers don't understand leasing, and even fewer salespeople understand leasing. On the used car side, I mean, if you got to put me out at 84 months to deliver a vehicle, that's what we're going to do, okay? Because I'm never going to say, gee, Fritz, why don't you come back in a month or two, all right? Because they'll go somewhere else and they'll put them at 84 months. But if you show me why it's good for me to put down money and shorten my term, at least I've got a decision to make. Yeah, that sounds really good, Fritz, but I just can't afford that payment. I don't have any money to put down. Well, then we do whatever we have to do to deliver the vehicle. But does it make sense to go through with every single customer or teach your salespeople to defend the amounts of cash you're putting down?